Welcome to another Cannabis Chats conversation. Today joining us is Khairah from CanMar Recruitment. He's going to talk about a new event that they have coming up on October 23rd through the 25th. KD, you're the founder and the CEO. Can you tell us a little bit about CanMar and its background?
Absolutely. Good to meet you, Patrick. And so CanMar started almost about 3 years ago. So we are a part of a bigger group company called Destination One Consulting Group, under which we recruit for many different industries. For example, technology, engineering, construction, real estate, and many more. So about 3 years ago, one of our clients under Destination One reached out to us asking for help to recruit one of the positions for them because they'd just received a license. And it started from hiring a financial controller. Once that person was hired, in about a week, we received a mandate to hire their CSO, COO, CEO, the scientists. Pretty much we ended up hiring about 60 to 70 people. Within that time, we realized, okay, this is a separate entity altogether. This cannot be done under one of the group companies, So we incorporated CanMar in order to specialize ourselves in the cannabis industry. And once we started recruiting for that particular client, we ended up hiring for another 40 to 50 companies all across North America and even UK. And that's how CanMar really started, by getting people jobs with different cannabis companies.
And what makes recruiting for the cannabis industry unique or different from other industries?
Well, it's like the tech boom, which came in many years ago, and this is what we see in the cannabis industry as well. That cannabis industry is going to create so many different types of jobs. I'm not going to say it's different. Yes, there are highly regulated jobs, where you need, for example, in Canada, you need Health Canada's clearance for certain type of positions that people work in. Could be a cultivation person, could be a quality assurance manager, so on and so forth. But otherwise, when it comes to jobs, literally, if I'm hiring for a tech company or a construction or cannabis, it's going to be the same. There's nothing so different apart from the technical positions, which need the government stamp to say, yes, we need, people with clearance. And we've been pretty much placing people from financial controllers who are coming from tech industry or manufacturing industry now. As we know, it's going to be more of a, everybody's talking about how cannabis is really a CPG-centric type of industry, which is right in many ways. So we are trying to get in people from different CPG companies to move into the cannabis industry, particularly at a distribution level, manufacturing, accounting, sales and marketing. So there's a lot of overlap.
And in the areas where the position is cannabis specific, because this is such a new industry, where do the people get their experience from? Or, are they certified in what they're doing, or how do they get sort of, the credentials to apply for these types of positions?
About 2 years ago, we were getting people literally from the food industry. Food or pharmaceutical was our number one choice. When companies were reaching out, us being a headhunting company, they were telling us, hey guys, can you find us somebody from a highly regulated industry? So if somebody was in quality assurance, they did not have any certifications in cannabis. Nobody had. Right. And as the time has moved on, now we are saying, okay, it's going to be 2 years for legalization here in Canada, particularly. So companies are looking for that cannabis experience. There's no particular certification. It's if a food company is hiring for quality assurance or pharmaceutical or cannabis, it's pretty much going to be overlapping in some way, shape, or form. So there's nothing specific.
And you've talked about that you've been doing this for 2 or 3 years, so you had the opportunity to sort of ride the green rush. What was that like?
It was exciting. It was brand new industry. It was, the fact that really excited us was that these jobs never existed before, and people have been into the other industries for I don't know how many decades. But this was particularly exciting because people had another choice now. Now, let's say hospitality people or travel, during COVID, who were hit the most is travel and tourism, restaurants. So those people have such beautiful customer service skills. How are they going to convert, or how are they transferable? Is, let's say if I am working with the travel or restaurant industry, I can bring in all that customer service experience that I have gained in the last 10, 20 years, and I can go become a bud tender, because for being a bud tender or a store manager at a retail store, the first soft skills are very important, because I can learn the hard skills. I can go through manuals, read about the SOPs, what do I need to follow, get the product knowledge and information from the companies that are providing the product. But who's going to teach me soft skills? That's going to come from my previous experience. And I really feel that travel, tourism, and restaurant industry has, they can look forward to these type of jobs in times to come.
And when you're looking at these new job creations, can you talk a little bit about what you've seen as far as economic development in your area, and how that's been an impact? Because you're creating a new industry and you're creating a new tax base, things like that.
100%. So as I was saying, Patrick, we are hiring IT people with cannabis companies or for cannabis companies. If in IT, there could be systems admin, there are help desk. There's so many different types of positions. In finance, literally, we are hiring from an accounts payable to a chief financial officer. And just like that, in quality assurance, we have a distribution, cultivation side. And as the job creation happens, as the companies hired more and more people, that means the economy is going to build, because the government is going to be making money on taxes. And if you're creating more jobs and people are employed, guess what? The economy has to do well.
And so, to support this effort, you guys launched events. Can you tell me a little bit about why you did that and what you were hoping for?
100%. So our bread and butter is recruitment. And when COVID started, it was totally against what we do. It was the opposite of what we do, is getting people jobs, and people were getting laid off. So, well, we started reaching out to a lot of our clients. Hey, you know what? How can we help you? We knew that people were losing jobs, and we were trying everything to survive ourselves. But more than trying to survive ourselves, giving back is a big part of what we do. And I will tell you how. So we reached out to many of our clients, even companies that weren't our clients. We said, hey, can we help you find people? Because companies were still recruiting. It wasn't like people just stalled 100%. They were hiring still, but nobody wanted to pay a fee to us for hiring those people. And, we went back to the drawing board, realigned ourselves. Okay, even though this is happening, but look at it's just sad. People are at their lowest point. So we went back, proposed to those companies, hey, we do not need a dime or a cent. No fee, $0, just help people. If you have jobs, let us bring you people. So in order to do that, we put up an event in July. Actually, it happened on July the 10th. It was called CanMar Career Day. We were expecting about 200 people, and 20 companies came and participated. Instead, 1,200 people showed up from 5 to 6 different countries.
And was this a virtual event, or what was this?
It was a virtual event. It was a Zoom. It was just mind-blowing. Even talking about it now, I get goosebumps, because we know we were able to help people. The reason I'm telling you this is because 16 people we know of directly who got jobs with those 20 different companies, but I am sure there are way more people who've got jobs than just 16. So, companies started reaching out. People were very happy with what we did. And they said, can you do something different? Can you do something again on the basis of providing us more knowledge, more about careers, so on and so forth. So we went back to the drawing board again, and we came up with the event CGCE, that's CanMar Global Conference and Expo. which is happening, as you mentioned, on October 23rd to 25th. Our main focus for the event is to talk about the jobs that are coming to the market. And this is all over the world. It's just not based or targeting Canada. It's about the US market, and it's about the UK market, Europe market, Asia, and so many more, and Australia, New Zealand. So our main focus for the conference is going to be education, knowledge, and jobs. We've got two panels.
I'm sorry. When you speak of education, can you be a little more specific? What does that mean?
So education, yes. So we've got 20 panels, and we've got about 3 to 4 different panelists on each of the panels. And they will be talking on different subjects, or different topics. So within that, we will have a quality assurance topic if somebody wants to get into that field. We've got people and culture part where people will learn about, okay, what does it mean to work with from an HR point of view with the cannabis industry. So we've got, if anybody goes to our website, CanMarEvents.com, there's a page dedicated to speakers. Within that, there are 20 different panels that people can see and really find a lot of information. And to talk about education, we've also invited many of the international institutes, or colleges who have cannabis curriculum to come and tell people about the courses that they have.
And one of the challenges, obviously, a lot of events are moving online, but when you talk to people, they say, "Gee, it's not the same experience as it was, when you went to an actual live event." How do you address that, and how do you compensate for that?
You adapt. It's unfortunate what is happening. Of course, we go to so many live events. We're social beings, right? We're social animals. As humans, we want to meet and other people, talk to other people, have that synergy. But it is unfortunate what is happening, and you adapt and you move on with the times. Virtual world is the new way of doing things till we get a vaccine, and by the time it reaches the rest of the world, we don't know how much time it is going to take. So everybody's got a different timeline. So it is very different. Honestly, I love live events. I go to at least 6 or 7 events throughout the year, and it's amazing to meet people. But this is the best way to make connections now.
And what has changed in your business? Obviously, the obvious things of not going to events and things like that. But how have you had to reconfigure to keep moving forward? And what advice would you give somebody else?
Great question. So, of course, we were impacted just like everybody else because we are into recruiting people, and people were getting laid off all over the world. So we have tried to diversify as, of course, there are 3 parts of the business here for us. One is people who are already in the industry. They're looking to move within the industry. We are always there to support them, guide them, counsel them, and also, tell the companies this is the type of talent that is available in the market. But we have to think about the curious minds who are still wanting to get into the industry. So because of those curious minds, we have to think there are millions, hundreds of millions of people. If you talk about, let's say 30, 40 countries that have legalized cannabis in some way, shape, or form, we're looking at millions of people. So we want to bring in through events. We are diversifying, that we want to bring in as much of knowledge, as much of information, and as much around the jobs that we can to the public, either within the industry or wanting to get into the industry. So just like that, that's how we are diversifying.
And I'm assuming that part of the panel is like, if I want to know how to pass an interview or tips along how to, look for a job, those are things that I can find at the event.
100%. So we have a series called, I believe it's called Career series, in which we will have our team and some of the external partners come and talk about different jobs. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, let's say quality assurance. What would it take for you to get into quality assurance department? How does it work? So we are going to talk about the top 5 most hired roles within the cannabis industry. And we will also be covering, hey, how to write a resume. How do you prepare for an interview? So different, very basic stuff, but it's helpful.
Um, so this event is on the 23rd and the 25th. Beyond this event, what can we look forward to?
Could you say that again, please?
Sure. I said beyond this event.
Oh,
What can we
beyond
expect from you
that.
guys? Yeah.
Yeah,
So we're
absolutely.
excited about the event. Don't get me wrong, but we also want to know what's coming up.
So CanMar is positioned in this way, Patrick. As I mentioned, we are a part of a bigger group company, and early on when we were starting CanMar, we knew where the industry was going. Hence, the reason why we got so much into it. So we have started putting together our database, or let's call it network, of professionals all around the world from 16 different industries that could range from pharmaceutical to food to agriculture to cannabis. Just think about it, right? So 16 different industries. So we are connecting with all those people through, let's say, LinkedIn or Instagram, different social platforms, and we are reaching out to them and asking them, hey, if you ever wanted to move into the industry, what would it look like? Where would you like to work? What kind of a salary would you prefer? So we are putting in a lot of man hours into building this network for ourselves. What lies ahead for CanMar is we want to be able to connect the global cannabis community together. That if any company wanted to hire somebody, let's say a company sitting out of Germany wanted to hire talent out of New Zealand or New Zealand out of Canada and so on and so forth, if we have the entire professional pool of the cannabis industry, it makes it easier, not so easy, but still easier to a certain extent for us to cater to the hiring needs of companies at international level. So what lies ahead is international expansion. We want to be there in every country where cannabis is and be able to provide those people.
And will you facilitate things like visas and whatnot in order to, because you mentioned somebody from New Zealand going to Germany. So obviously, that requires work visas and things like that. Is that something you would partner with somebody with, or your company would facilitate that?
I haven't thought about it, but we are not going to do it for sure. We could look at an option of partnering with somebody. I remember about a year and a half ago, somebody reached out from New Zealand saying, hey, we are setting up. I'm not going to name the company, but they were setting up and they said, can you send us some quality assurance, like a QAP, quality assurance person, which was highly in demand, even now, because you need Health Canada clearance to be a QAP. SOPs are everything when you're building up a cannabis company. And so at that time as well, we weren't looking into immigration part of the business, but yes, we will definitely partner with experts because we don't have any experience in work visas and so forth.
Okay. But currently you're focused in North America for the most part, and with the intent to expand globally. Is that correct?
So we are recruiting in North America. We are also recruiting for one of our amazing clients in the UK, and we are talking to a few companies in Australia. In fact, to be precise, 13 companies who want recruitment services.
Okay.
And New Zealand as well, we've been reached out. So we are slowly trickling into the other countries. And through this conference and Expo, it is our endeavor to get the name out there so that the companies know that they can get all the help with recruitment that they want. And the beautiful part about technology is that you're sitting in another part of the world, I'm sitting in another part of the world. As long as I know the rules and regulations around what is the around the Health Canada system of each country, or sorry, the health department of each country, the bodies that control regulations and legalization in and around it, we can sit in any part of the world and really recruit for any company.
Good. Well, we very much appreciate your time today. We will make sure that the link is in the notes below, so look for it there and for the event. We're excited about joining the event and looking forward to more events in the future. Again, Kitty, thank you very much for your time, and we will see you on the 23rd.
It's a pleasure, Patrick. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.